let's go. All right, so this is a question that I received the most. All right, Damien, I've just starting my commodity trading firm, my import-export business, my international trade, whoever whatever you wanted to call it. And I said, but how can I get finance? What can I do beside my own money or my family's money or my friends' money? How can I get some institutional money? People that have suits, tie, and that will lend me money. All right, so this is what we are going to see in this short presentation. So, first thing, if you are new to this channel, my name is Damien, and I've been involved in international commodity trading for more than 15 years. So you can see this is me visiting factories and so on when I was young, slimmer. All right, a bunch of all right. Also, again, a bunch of pictures of me in doing my job. I'm also the founder of the Shipping Commodity Academy. So if you want to learn physical commodity trading, then you can just go there and download our brochure. Next week, we are reopening Neo-Phoenicia. Neo-Phoenicia is our membership for commodity trader, for entrepreneurs. So if you are already above this level, I mean, you know international trade, and you are more an entrepreneur, or you are a trader and you want to start your own project on the side, this is the community for you, and we are going to reopen it next week. All right. That being said, oh yes, we are going to reopen it next week, so you can download. If you're interested to receive the information, just click the link below this video, and you'll be notified. All right. So your first finance opportunity. All right, so what we are going to see, first of all, is going to be a reality check, because some of you guys, especially the youngest one, and sometimes I have like some young hustler, like 20 years old, and honestly, they are putting deals together, they are moving stuff around, so good for them. But man, they are really naive about the reality of the financial world. So first of all, we start with that reality check. Secondly, the core principle. So this is the core principle that you need to understand in order for you to get this first finance opportunity. And then the first way, so we'll see what is it. And after that, a little case study of how we could scale a trade flow without extra cash flow, just by changing and using some instrument. And yeah, so let's jump in. It's going to be quite fast. And then we'll do a Q&A. First of all, reality check. So what do you have? What do you have? What do you have? As a new commodity trading firm, what do you have? Let's say that you start your commodity trading firm, you put a little bit of money, I don't know, 10K, 50K, 100K, I don't know. But beside that, what do you have? So if you have 50K, it's good. So then you have 50K. But as a new commodity trading firm, what do you have? So because banks won't finance you at the start. Let's be real. And maybe they won't finance you at all. So let's be extremely real. Then investors don't trust you. I mean, unless you've done something in your past, or I don't know, some family friends can trust you. Investors don't trust you yet, so you won't access that money. And then honestly, when you start your firm, even like the first year in, you have no track record, no balance sheet, your company is an empty shell. So I'm asking the question again: why would anyone lend you anything? All right, why would anyone lend you anything? What do you have? Seriously, what do you think, guys? So the only thing that you have as a small commodity trading firm is hopefully you have at least one transaction. That if we will do a list of your assets and liabilities, at least in the asset side, I hope that you have asset in a way that what you can do, you have a transaction. So what does it mean? A transaction as a buyer, as a supplier, and as a cargo. All right. So at least you have all of that. So let's see how you can use it. So core principle. Let's say that you are a little trader. The only thing that you have is a briefcase. You have a supplier, you have a buyer, and the cargo that you ship from one place to another. Now, that's basically the transaction that I described before. Now, let's say that in terms of assets, really value, who has what, how, if I need to put a value behind all those the thing on the screen, what do I have? I have a trader with 0, or let's say 10,000. I don't know, 50,000. I don't know. That's the value of your company, and it's in equity. So, I mean, it's 0. Then let's say that is a supplier. The supplier is maybe a small mill, $1 million, maybe the value of the asset, I guess. I don't know. Then we have like cargo 50K. All right. So there's a little bit of money here. That is a cargo as an actual value. If it's quoted on an exchange, you can know the value of it's quite easy to know the value of the cargo. And then you have also the asset of the buyer. Buyer is a huge factory, a huge brand. I know that was 100 million. All right. So this is what you have in your transaction. Now, on which asset a lender would be more than willing to take a risk on? If you would ask anyone with like, let's say more than 10 IQ points, who they would be more willing to take a risk on? All right. Let's see if is there anyone with more than 10 IQ points on this chat now. All right. So obviously, this is the big company that lenders would be more willing to take a risk, and not you as a trader that has nothing. So that's the core principle. The core principle is to structure a deal whether the lender bear risk on the stronger entity. All right. So the core principle is to structure a deal where the lender bear risk on the stronger entity. So now, how do you do that? Do you do that in the real life? So this is the last point, the first way. So let's go back. So how is it called when you ask a lender to take the risk on your customer? I know there's a little delay on this chat, but I guess a lot of you, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, Nicolas Baza, obviously, he has the answer. Factoring. All right. So there is someone, at least someone that knows this shit. All right. So obviously, the first money that you can get is factoring. All right. And for the people that knows it, it's obvious. But for I've noticed that a lot of young people have never really heard about that. So what is factoring? So the factoring is when you sell your invoice, also called receivable in the supply chain trade finance world, to finance a company. All right. So the factor is the one that lend you that buy the invoice from you at a discount. So they pay you most of the invoice upfront. It depends. I mean, each factor is very different between 50% and 99%. When the buyer paid, the factor keeps a fee and send you the rest. All right. So this is factoring. So basically, you sell your invoice and you get the money immediately instead of waiting 60 days, 90 days, 120 days to get paid. So it's financing against the buyer credit. So this is what is effectively happening. What I've explained from the last 5 minutes is basically to come to the point is that the lender takes the risk on the buyer's credit, on the buyer's company, not on your company that's worth nothing. All right. So it's called factoring. So so how does it work? So basically, there is the trader, little you with your suitcase, the factor, and a client. So basically, what you do as a trader, you send an invoice and the cargo to your client. Then the client pay the factor, and then the factor pay you back. So what I wrote on the top right is there's a few different ways that factoring work exactly. So each factor will request, will have different requirements. So most of the time, this is how it works. You send the cargo and the invoice, and then on the invoice, or I mean, sometimes you need to make them sign something in advance to your client that they need to pay the factor, and the factor is going to pay you. So this is one way. The other way would be that you send the cargo to your client, you send the invoice to the factor, and the factor resend another invoice to your client. This is another way. And then another way that I've seen and that actually I've done is like you send the cargo and the invoice, then your client needs to send a document of acceptance of the good to the factor, and then the factor will get paid by your client, and then you will get the money. So there's a few different ways of how really it works. Each time it's quite there could be some differences, and also you can ask them to sometimes work differently for you. So everything is not set in the stone. So have conversation with factors, local factors mostly. I would really strongly encourage you to speak with local factors in the same country as your buyer. They are going to give you better it depends about the break, but actually they are going to be more flexible than the one international one. So each factor will have a slightly different requirements. Yes, exactly. So you need to speak with them, and don't hesitate with to speak with local factors. Again, I think I've seen more success speaking with factoring company that are within the country of my buyer rather than the big international one. The big international one works well if they are. If your client is a large corporation in a shitty country where there is no local factors because the country is shit, but the factor can take the risk on the international company. So very important point about factoring. There is two types of factoring. So recourse factoring. So if the buyer doesn't pay, you must repay the factor. All right. So they give you the money, but if down the line they didn't pay, I mean, you need to repay. Or non-recourse factoring. So if the buyer default, factor takes the loss. I will strongly encourage you to do non-recourse factoring only. And recourse factoring, I've seen some guys doing it, but I've never done that. Everything that I've done is non-recourse factoring, and basically, below the factoring, there's always a credit insurance also to make sure that there is no buyer default. So, case study. Before going to the case study, one thing that I forgot to put in my slide is like factoring is very expensive. So you must have a healthy margin in order to do factoring. But if you don't have healthy margin and you are a small commodity trading firm and you try to break into a market that has extremely low margin, man, don't do it. Case study. So let's speak about case study. It's something that I've done with like some a member of the Neo-Phoenicia group. So the how we were able to scale is a trade flow without extra money. So before that, he had like a very simple, a quite vanilla, let's say, trade, which is he buys FOB from his supplier, 20% in advance, 80% against the document after stuffing, and then he sell CIF 60 days at the BL date. So you take the BL date and you invoice 60 days forward. Then the amount of cash out, basically the cash was out like for 70 days. Because honestly, you will see when nobody pays at 60 days top, there will always be a week delay plus the time for the bank, international transfer, and so on. Basically, you are 60 days out. So it was like you could do like maximum 5 trades in a year. So with and without counting, yeah, of course, the 20% prepayment that is roughly like will take another 2 weeks. So you prepare, they prepare the cargo, and it's basically 2 weeks until you have a BL date. So we found a factor for that trade that was willing to take on the risk of the buyer. Also, the thing is that this factor is willing to pay it is willing to start basically paying the invoice as soon as the invoice is issued. So if you know your Incoterms, guys, if you don't know your Incoterms, you really should check the Shipping Commodity Academy. Maybe not the Neo-Phoenicia membership, but Shipping Commodity Academy. So you know that the ownerships change when you are on the ship. When you actually, to be precise, when you pass the railway. So when you have the BL date, you can issue the invoice, and the factor will pay the invoice. So already the guy, like, they gain like 70 days of money out. Then as I saw like how the conversation was with the supplier, I said to my guy, look, man, you should ask for better payment term. Ask for better payment term. I said, no, but I don't know. They said, no. It's like, come on, ask. Like, if we give you better payment term on the purchase side, how much can you do? He's like, oh, maybe like 5 times the volume. All right, tell them that. So he pushed, and he got them. So he still had to do the 20% prepayment, but he has 80% after 1 week after the BL date. So thanks to that, he only had to get out of his pocket the first 20%. So he was able to 5x his volume within like few months just because of this little scheme. Obviously, doing that took a hit on his margin because the factoring is expensive, but his business just blew up. So this is just to show you that when you speak with people that knows what they do, like me, they can give you a good idea like this one. And also, the payment terms are extremely important. And the first instrument that you can use most of the time would be factoring or credit insurance. So yeah, that was it for me today. Again, we are going to reopen the Financiers. So this is a membership for people that want to start or scale their own niche commodity trading company. We are going to reopen the membership for the onboarding on Monday. So it's tomorrow. So if you want more info, click on the link below and you will get notified. All right, let's jump on the Q&A. Bim. All right, let's see. There's anybody here who has a legit man? So not to be an asshole, but if you ask about sugar and aluminum ingot, maybe you don't have a legit buyers. You moment. FFF, exactly, a friend, food, and family. So this is the easiest money to get at the beginning. It's margin too low in commodity. Maybe it's just best to sell a course for 99% gross margin. Yes, probably, but you need to sell. I have a buyer who is ready to give me a shot, but I'm not a legit supplier. So honestly, I think the issue is more the buyer than the supplier. Finding aluminum supplier or sugar supplier is extremely easy. Yes, exactly. All right, Alex is a good. So you use them for factoring? I don't know them. If you can't find a supplier in this day and age with internet, you're mentally handicapped. It's already. I didn't say it, man. I didn't say it. I just read it. All right. So, can you drop ship commodities, man? What do you mean? If drop shipping commodities, you mean you need to get paid by your buyer first, and then you pay your supplier? Yes, obviously. I've closed 2 massive contracts with the Chinese. Sorry, oh, dude. Yeah. Obviously, yes. All right. What the problem do you still face that you wish you were solved with technology AI? That's a good question. I think the AI will solve a lot of operation technology. Operations will be smoother because of AI, for sure. Then a massive problem. I don't know, man. Yes, company based in Luxembourg. Hello, Damien. The factoring companies do require a track record from you as a trader, or can we handle it as a new company? All right. So this is a good question. So they will require, obviously, that you did the trade before, but it's not even sure that they ask, all of them ask for it. But yeah, again, but maybe not, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I work with maybe 2-3 factoring company, and I'm not sure that the requirement is that we work with the client before. But all of my company already had trade, so I don't know if I complete. That's a good question, man. You need to ask them, because I'm sure now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sure that we sold to some new customer thanks to the factoring, for sure. How you manage quality control? What do you mean? It's actually all right. So let me expand on that question, because it's not a bad question. So there's a lot of different steps. So the thing is, first of all, do you understand the producer? Do you understand how they produce the good? What are the quality control that they have in place, and so on? And how are you sure about the output of the product that they do? So if you have a good understanding of how it works, the production capacity of your supplier, then you can have a quite good idea about what the specs are going to be. So this is first. Then, obviously, when we're talking about contract with large volume, you will have to have an independent surveyor that takes samples for the quality control. But when you do like niche stuff or small stuff like us, sometimes, You need to trust your supplier, and this is when problem may arise. But I wouldn't never okay. I would never do a deal with a supplier that I've never seen or never been there or never ever. Is it sometimes easier, better to buy commodities locally than internationally? Yes, it is. It is definitely easier. I have a serious buyer for copper, but similar to find a real supplier. Can you give me any tips to give it this deal? Yes, Quincy. The problem is like probably. All right. The problem is first of all the price. What is the price that your serious buyer is willing to buy? Because I know a lot of serious buyer. They give you an extremely stupid low price, and as you don't know the market, you think, oh, you have a serious buyer, but the price makes no sense. So, what is the price that the guy? Give me the. Let's not even speak about payment term. Just give me the Incoterm and the target price that he gave you. Is it generally better to set up new company from scratch rather to hire an existing company that is already established credit score in order to obtain different payment terms for this? So GM88, extremely good question, and this is something that I did, and I would say that was something extremely stupid that I did. I always started from scratch a company, and this is awful idea. It's 1,000 times better to buy an existing company. Obviously, you need to do the, but for nothing. I mean. They at least, even though you buy an existing company, even though it was in another, I don't know, the company was like a restaurant or I don't know what kind of other shit. When you will change the name of the company, you change the goal of the company, the status, and so on. Even that is better than that to start from scratch, because then you already have like more than 3 years existence. You already have balance sheets, you already have everything, and you know what? Banks, financial institution, they understand that the company is not the same owner, it's not the same goal. All right, they understand that, but in their fucking system, when they need to tick boxes, they can say, yeah, this company is 10 years old. Oh, yeah, cool, they have like 1 million revenue last year. Wow, yeah, cool, ding 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 ding. So yes, it's way better to buy let's say a used shell rather than to start a new one. Obviously, you need to be a bit more savvy because you don't know what are the liabilities, so you need to do a complete due diligence. But if you have a good accountant, lawyer, and so on, and you understand the local laws, it should be good, man. So yes. And this is a mistake of mine. What are the multiples for selling commodity trading companies? Usually very low. Usually they do credit check on the client. Yeah, they always do credit check on the client. Yeah, of course. As a trader, do you actually hold the commodity in stock? Yes, sometimes yes, sometimes yes. Is your audio on? Is it on? Do you hear me, guys? Any advice on industrial mineral? Any advice on industrial mineral trading from Africa? There is a trust issue between both parties. Man, I've been doing that in Africa my entire career. So obviously there is a massive trust issue on all the parties. So this is why there is margin, and this is why it's difficult. Yes, if there is an advice, yeah, don't trust anybody, man. Don't trust nothing. Never trust, and put people in place to control the flow always. Have you come across investment bankers providing financing to traders by investing in trade flow rather than a traditional lending? Yes, exactly. This is called commodity trade finance. There's funds that do that. There's banks that do that. It's called commodity trade finance. Basically, how it works is there is going to do a repurchase agreement or a pledge, but let's say a repurchase agreement of the good. So the financier will be the owner of the good during the time of the financing. So if the trader doesn't repay the financier, then the financier is the legitimate holder of the good and can liquidate it. If so, are the requirements similar to those for obtaining bank loans or additional criteria that traders? Yes. If you tell it's okay, the requirements are lesser than to get a credit loan, but you still need to have a sizable company, because for the lenders it's a very complex structure to put in place. It's international laws and so on. So if they can't lend to you at least, I don't know, like $1 million, they won't do it. What are the requirements you have come across to? Do they just ask for invoice, company receipt, and bank statement? What if the new company has no trade? So I don't know what if the company has no trade because it never happened to me. So I can't tell you. And yes, they will ask for everything. They will ask for everything. For obviously, yes. Anybody that will lend you money will ask for everything. Payment term, GAP trial followed by. All right. So this is a guy. Okay. So DAP trial followed by second DAP following buyer site inspection. Buyers isn't performing to shit. Man, I don't understand, man. Following buyer site inspection, but trial is before the buyer isn't performing. Man, I don't know, man. I'm a trainee in the biggest steel trading company in Switzerland. Okay, so I know which one. I'm learning so much in the department rotation. So you're very, very. This is the best thing that you can get, man. Department rotation is the best thing that you can do as a young guy. So I would encourage any one of you that is young and extremely hungry to try to find those type of traineeship. Can I leverage my company name to start deal in different market? Dude, this is. I don't know, man. I don't know what your company would feel about that, but obviously you need to leverage the fact that you work there. Obviously, yes. But while you are working there, I don't know, man. But what you can do is like you can try to leverage your company name to deal in different market in order to bring deals to your company. But man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Is individual entity can issue factoring? You mean if someone like me can do factoring? Yes, why not? I mean, it's a contract at the end. After pick, do you enter the logistic with ocean carrier or freight forwarding companies? Where do you find more value for your trade? Yes, most of the time we. All right, so we try to speak as much as possible with ocean carriers directly rather than freight forwarding company. But sometimes you need for freight forwarding company for whatever reason, so then they can get a little bit more money by also handling the ocean carriers. So it really depends. If you are solo guys, you want maybe to have a freight forwarder that you can trust. They will take the margin, but then you don't have to pay for an operation team. So on the future of deep sea mining. Yes, man. There's like this. They have those noodles. I don't know noodles. I don't know nodes. I don't know what they call it with that they can just like a big vacuum get out of the sea. So it's not really mining. Yeah, I think yeah, why not, man? I don't know, man. I have no idea. I think it's more legal issue. But is it profitable first? And then I guess it's only a legal issue. But man, if the price the next 20 years of those elements keep increasing, they will do deep sea mining for sure. That specific clients want at LME, and my other two clients want below -10. All right, so I can already tell you, you order two other clients. If they want copper cathode at -10, this is a fucking joke, man. This is a joke. They are shitting you. So just to give you an information, like real people that buy real copper cathode in China basically buy them at like LME or LME plus something. So obviously this is a joke. All are serious huge company, but are found it hard to find supplier or copper. Yes, of course, because nobody is going to give you those prices, man. So, and this is the issue. So the SOEs in China, man, I know a lot of them say they would give you yes -10. Obviously, give me -10. But there's no -10 on the market. Maybe some guy stole some copper cathode in DRC, then they can give you whatever price. But those price doesn't exist. Hello. Can you explain how arbitrage works? I have a YouTube. I have one of the very first videos about that. Have you structured a back-to-back LC deal? If so, yes. Does it work in details? How does it work? Yes, I've structured it, man. If you want the details, you need to take the shipping commodity academy certification. But yes, back-to-back deals. But the problem is like, it's you still need to have credit of your bank for the bridge. So you get the LC from your buyer. You get your LC from your buyer. Then you reopen another LC for your supplier. But the problem is the bank is not going to use the first LC as collateral to open the second LC. So you need to put the money to in the bank to open the second BLC, or your credit line from your bank. Chinese buyer consult issues BLC or won't accept this. Chinese buyer consult issues BLC. Yeah, man. Man, I don't know what to say, because man, this is like, man, if you know what, you can send me like a complete email with all the details of what is going on, and maybe I can give you like some advice, because here it seems like it's, I'm not going to say. How to determine and manage the required certification for cross-border scrap transaction? What do you mean, man? You ask for the customs, the export custom and the import custom for the certification required for the HS code that you want to use. So those guys knows exactly what certification you need. Oh boy, I'm gonna get sacked. Yeah, I mean. Hello, what happened with your company called Chromatic Dragon? So nearly you are not working for it anymore. Actually, it's still my company, but I'm not actively working for it. There are three main types of commodity: agriculture, energy, metal. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you know, this classification, you can use them however you want. Like agri, there's like soft also. Some people call like coffee, cocoa, rubber, like soft commodities. It depends. How do you deal with sellers that do not accept LC and you don't have enough money to do the trade? Yeah, what do you mean? So there is no deal if you don't have the money, and but why? But why? It really depends. Why? There's a lot of ways to get money even without LC. So, I'm not sure I get your point. Deep sea mining happening coast of Namibia for diamonds already. Right? I didn't know, man. I thought it was for like nickel or something like this. Which type of commodity is the easiest to obtain financing? It's not a question of commodity. It's a question of you, not the commodity. How long does the research for finding a niche trade can take? The problem is that it's the wrong question. The question, Anna, is about in order to find a niche commodity, a niche trade flow, you need to talk with people. You need to speak with like people that need raw materials. You need to. Okay, the problem is like you need to do stuff, and most of that stuff is speaking with people, meeting with people that have needs for raw materials, for ingredients, and so on. So it will be people that works in factory, people that own factories, people that are importer, exporter, and those type of guys. All right. So some guys are quite enraged, and they can do that quite quickly. In 2 weeks, they can speak with 50 people that are substance and try and figure something out. And other people in 2 weeks, they just have like they are still too afraid to call someone. So the research is really about creating insight about the market, and how you create insight about the market is not speaking with ChatGPT or doing God knows what on LinkedIn. Is calling people and speaking with them and asking what they need, how it works, and so on. So I don't know how long it takes. I'm just saying that it depends. All right. So we have finished all the questions. Thanks a lot, all of you guys, for being there. Again, we are reopening the Neo Phoenicia membership on Monday. So if you are interested, just click the link below, put your name, your email, and then you will get notified when we reopen it with all the details. I will try to do this thing on Sunday night until the end of the year. We'll see if it takes, if there's more viewers, if you like it or not. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Ciao, guys.